G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's a cracker. It's a cracker of a spring day here in Nelson Bay. I'm at Barruby Point, and I'm at the northern end of the Stockton Beach, which is a really long, beautiful, pristine, expansive beach, which goes for, I think it's well over 30 kilometres, and it goes all the way to Newcastle. So you can walk it, you can run it, you can get from one end to the other with a four-wheel drive, but it's an absolutely beautiful part of the world, and I absolutely love it up here. You can also do sunset camel rides, very similar to the camel rides that one can experience in Broome, but all of that can happen within 2 hours of Sydney without having to spend thousands of dollars on accommodation and travelling to the other side of Australia. So what I want to do today is I want to just do what I normally do and do a book summary. And today's book summary is an interesting one, a very interesting one, one that is very, very deep and quite thought-provoking, and dare I say, it could be quite challenging to a number of people. So the book that I'm going to go through today is entitled Radical Honesty by Blanton. Brad Blanton has put together a book entitled Radical Honesty, and it's basically looking at the importance of being honest, brutally honest, all the time. Because what we'll find once we go through the key points here is that not being honest can play on your conscience, can play on your subconscious, impact the way you feel. So let's go for a bit of a walk and talk. It's a bit breezy up here, so I'll go a little bit further down where we don't have the buffeting of the sea breeze, even though it's beautiful. It's a warm day. But let's see what sort of journey we can endure and enjoy and go through and learn something new. So the author kicks off the book making a very, very valid point, a point to get us into the mood and to start thinking in a empowering way and a productive way about the importance of saying the truth, where he says that we need to tell the truth all the time about everything. What's the alternative, he says, to radical honesty? It's a waste. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of possibility, and it's a waste of one's life. So the call to action from this author is to start immediately being honest. Honest with yourself, honest with those around you. Lies from time to time. Other people lie all the time. Other people lie some of the time. But lying is very much endemic to our Western culture. There's a lady down there chasing the umbrella down the beach, which is being blown towards the water. So everybody lies. Now we lie about our feelings, and this lying, this is a very, very important point. So listen up here. The author says that the lying that we do actually erodes us from the inside. It corrodes us and it causes us immense pain and damage, and it happens at the subconscious level, and it eats away at us from time to time, and it's something that we all need to be careful of, I guess, is the key point. So to be healthy, according to this author, to be able to enjoy mental, spiritual, emotional and physical health, one of the critical points that we need to consider and to embrace is to be honest to be brutally honest all the time. Don't be dishonest with others, and more importantly, not to be dishonest with ourselves. So, as we said before, everybody lies, everybody's inclined to lie, but some people go past the innocent lies and live their entire lives denying their truth. Once again, this is an important point coming from this author here, that some people are just lying all the time and don't really live a real life. Everything they say, everything they do, everything they experience is one big lie, one big fakeness. So the author then reminds us that it's about the persona that we have built up as teenagers of how we are to be to the world. And it's a survival mechanism that has been built up over the years for us to protect ourselves. So as we said, the author here is kind of suggesting that it's our teenage years where we weren't quite sure of ourselves, we weren't quite sure of how to interact with other people, that we built a persona which may no longer serve us, but it's something to think about, to try and understand, and to once again reiterate that it is part of some survival mechanism that as teenagers we need to get through those tough teenage years where we're transitioning from child to adolescence. And they're difficult years because we've got friends and family telling us different things. We're trying to live up to certain expectations. We don't quite know how the world operates, but we've got media, we've got television, we've got social media, we've got all of these other avenues trying to shape our lives. But we really need to wake up and to understand that each and every one of us has the power to live our life the way we want to live it. And the best way to live it, according to the author, is to live it as an honest, a truly honest person who's got nothing to hide, nothing to be ashamed of, and can live proudly and not to fear the consequences of living an honest life. So the formal point to come out of this book is where the author says that true honesty means telling the truth with no shortcuts. It's sometimes hard to tell the truth to someone. No one likes to be uncomfortable. No one likes to be confrontational or controversial. But sometimes, and in most cases, according to this author, you're better off being honest and truthful. And here we have a butterfly, the first butterflies for the year on this beach here. So we need to, at some point in time, to stand up and to break the chain of lies. And it's really the consequences, or the imagined consequences, that people fear. But if we understand that less than 10% of our fears, much less than 10%, but let's just say 10%, much less than 10% of our fears actually materialise, it's going to help us understand that a lot of the irrational fears that are holding us back, we don't need to fear, and we don't need to create lies and a string of lies and deception to protect us from something that's not ever going to happen. So people tactically use partial truth to keep our conscience clear, and they omit detail and they're coy. But you've got to understand that by omitting things, there's no half-lies. Either you're doing something which is truthful, you're living the truth, or you're living a lie. You can't be half pregnant. And the same is, according to this author, about truth. We need to be open and honest, and to be able to speak with clear detail, and to not fear being honest. Because a moral person, according to the author here, tells the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And it's good to be descriptive in what you say, and to not be deceitful by, as we said, keeping some of the truth away, when you say half-truths. Because what happens here is that it can save a relationship. It can save a relationship with yourself. It can save a relationship with loved ones and with others around you. Because what happens is when people lie, there is a cognitive dissonance which operates at the subconscious level or at the conscious level, but you just don't feel good about yourself. You can't look the other person in the eye, because you know that what you're doing is fake and not real. So we need to understand that we can't hide. We can't get away from being dishonest, because it's going to get you every single time. So the next formal point to come out from this book, from this author, is that it's important to be in charge of your life. And to be in charge means that you need to be honest and not to try and hide and live a lie. Many people in our lives, or in life in general, try and blame others for their station in life, for their situation. But once again, this is just living a lie, because we need to embrace our life, we need to embrace our truth, and we need to be honest with what is happening and what has got us to where we are, and to not spend too much time, as we said, blaming others, because the root of our problems is ourselves. Sometimes we resent our lives, but we do nothing to improve it. So the author here is saying that the way to solve that is to be honest with yourself, to embrace your problems, your challenges, and to do something about it. The way forward from existential paradoxes is truth, and it will free your mind and your soul, according to this author. And the last point that the author talks about is where we repress anger instead of telling the truth. And what this does is that it makes things worse. Repressing anger just makes it build up. It just doesn't disappear. You just can't pull out a magic wand and go tap, 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 and for your anger and your problems to disappear. We need to accept them, we need to embrace them, we need to work with them, and to do something about it to give us freedom from our challenges. But our problems and our lies and our fears affect us, but they also affect other people around us, because if it's affecting us consciously and subconsciously, then our behaviour is not going to be true, according to this author. And our body language is going to give it away time and time again. So the point is that we need to rid ourselves of the frustrations and of the tensions, and to acknowledge and embrace our angers, and to be able to properly communicate with ourselves and others, and to be able to feel free to discuss openly our problems, our challenges, our likes, our dislikes, rather than letting those feelings build up. And as we said, as they build up, they will just corrode us, they will erode us, and they'll make us very unhappy. So I guess that's it. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, where I'm here at Ruby Point, and we're just going through a book summary entitled Radical Honesty by Blanton. and I look forward to coming to you again from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment. Sorry if the wind's been a bit blustery here and the quality of the voice quality and the sound quality isn't the best, but just a bit breezy down here close to the sand. So thank you once again, and we'll chat again. Bye for now.